There. Jesus. Hey Maria, how we doing? Hopefully you guys have audio now. The system didn't switch the audio back when I was doing a game stream yesterday. Good. Good. So as I was saying, that that's crazy. 19-hour shift. What crazy business keeps you in there for 19 hours? I'm saying at my worst, I only ever did 2 8s back to back for a 16. Nuts, 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 nuts. Water utilities, gotcha. Well, that explains the long time frame, to be sure. I know it certainly never ends when pipes break, when things go south. Echo, turn off fan. California, very cool. Never have your fan going when you're doing this. too much. Let's see here. California is about 3 hours behind New York time. So right now it's 2 a.m. It's going to be about 11 o'clock where you guys are. Not too crazy around the skulls. Yeah. I remember when I lived in the UK, time difference was always a big concern. I should probably sand down some of these edges before I torch them too heavily. Oh, wow. Let's go old school. Ugh. Scrubber pads, the sandpaper of styrofoam. Hey Peter, how we doing? Yeah, this will be, to be sure, the newest one. I have to be really careful of this text. The laser burner did a great job, but it made it a little bit small. Next one I do with the laser burner, I will make quite a few adjustments. Especially on the small text. And I tried to include a graphic that put that embarrassing line across the Cleary last name. So I'll have to patch that up with some wood filler. real careful here. If it means I don't have as much stone effect on the name, then so be it. Text can go. This text can go from stone to slurm in very, very short duration. And not that anyone's going to really read it. But I'll feel bad if I could have stopped it from getting screwed up. And it still gets screwed up. Hey, Goliath. Yep. I knew I wanted to get a lot more of this work done. And yesterday night I just gamed, so I figured tonight we would get some proper Halloween work done. Nice. Alright. And now it's made of stone. Something right there was really screwing up. But on Halloween night, no one's gonna see, no one's gonna care. Woohoo! Aw, that's awesome. It took me a while to break down and get my fuzzballs. The text reads, Redmond Cleary, and the date, a man of years long and great, 99 and a day. What price was paid for such a span, no kin of his would say. That is the text. So I'll be honest with you, personal opinion, I can't stand those cutesy texts on some stones. The "I told you I was sick," and you know, what are the other ones? All the ones that are all, I mean, it's great, it's fun. If you do it, wonderful, awesome. It's just not my cup of tea. Oh, dead and buried is one. Well, that's one way to take it. Honestly, I just made it so he made a deal with somebody to live long, and none of his family would say what kind of horrible deal he made. But I honestly like that take better. He traded the voices of his family for long life. I think that's a much better ghost story. Being that I was stupid about it before, I probably ought to do it again. Yep, the lettering is courtesy of my experiments with the laser engraver as a lettering device. As in the past, I've always lettered them myself. But I didn't pay beaucoup for bucks for that machine to have it sit around doing nothing. Well, I have too many gizmos around the house right now that are costing me and not doing a whole lot. Whew. That is what always worries me about any kind of outdoor mache. It's just fundamentally a hygroscopic material. I'm sorry it didn't last. I mean, unless you can really coat that stuff with a full-on plastic, I just don't ever see them becoming a permanent fixture. I know that Oak Lane Cemetery at least had a video about their stuff with mache and outside. And even they do kind of like yearly maintenance on it. Bring it in, let it dry back out. I'll tell you right now, it's entirely too hot weather-wise to be using a blowtorch in this weather. This room's getting way too hot. Yep. Now I've got a definitive. How long did it last? This long. Sorry it happened to your rock, though. I know you put a ton of effort into that. And on the bright side, 2 3/4 years ain't shabby for an all-paper product. Exposed to Wind, rain, and weather. Not shabby at all. Whew. Give me just a second, I'll answer that question. Make sure this melt goes right, because that is a good one. Crust up. Side. Yeah. Down the other side. Yeah. Alright, not down this side too much because there's already a big ass hole there. Woo! There, it's done. Okay. Oh. The biggest tradition to keep the Halloween spirit alive is this. Never stop making stuff. Always, always, always make. Always be thinking about next Halloween, thinking about what your scene needs to be more the way you want it. That's the tradition is making for me. Otherwise, I don't have too many others. I mean, the other tradition we've got is every year we watch Trick or Treat after the trick-or-treating event. And we usually have a few drinks and fall asleep because we're both exhausted. What else? Keep Halloween decorations up in your house 24/7 all year long. My house is always Halloween. I mean, it's just down to how much fun you have with it. It's the biggest thing. Echo, turn on fan. Always having fun with it. If Halloween ever becomes a burden, take a step back. Don't ever let it become a chore. Don't ever let it become a job. Always make sure it's something that you're having fun with. Because if it's a chore and it's a job, then it's not fun. And if it's not fun, you won't do it. And again, that's why I don't do any kind of I don't have a schedule for when I'm crafting. I don't have a Patreon, because I never want this to be scheduled. I want this to be when I want to do it. It's my hobby. All right. And that keeps it fun. That keeps it fresh. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, and I also just kind of, I like the darker side of fantasy stuff too. So, the film doesn't have a cool bad guy. And what the hell am I watching it for? May as well do up the side for this one. And then I found that the spray paint that I ordered to get these guys their initial black coat was really, really, really like far more than I've ever seen spray paint eat into foam. This thing was eating into my foam. It was pretty bad. So I will be I'll be trying to airbrush them black. I think that'll work a little bit better. We'll see. Yeah. And, you know, always remember the traditions from Trick or Treat Yourself. They like candy and sweet things. You dress up on Halloween night so they think that you're one of them and they don't hurt you. And you don't blow out your pumpkins before midnight. The classic traditions. The ones that were started to protect us. No, I haven't done any kind of Elmer's and black paint. I just grab the spray paint and blurk it on. I probably really should. What I should have is a flat piece of table. That's what I should have. Damn it. Close enough. Generally, the styrofoam stuff, at least that I make and throw together, it's like it's not really worth putting a ton, because the effect of doing the stonework is effectively just grabbing a blowtorch and hitting it. The overall concept is to make this as fast and easy as possible. My philosophy on tombstones is you really shouldn't be, you know, working 24/7 to make yourself some sort of superstone. Just get it textured, get it painted, call it good. So I don't want to be spending tons more effort on it than I really feel like I need to. Betrayal at House on the Hill is my all-time favorite board game. I will play that anytime that people in the board game store are up for it. Most importantly, because it's every single horror movie in a box. I heard they're just coming out with 3rd edition. I have the legacy version of it. Yeah, it's an absolutely fantabulous game. I do have a number of other Halloween board games, but none of them really capture the spirit the way that one does. May have to do a double coat on this one. That hole that I melted there is just way too big. I might also crack open that never before opened wood filler, because this one is just full of lumpy bumpies. Even after I hit it with water last time, it's still really, really, really lumpy. But yeah, Betrayal at House on the Hill is the best of games. Best of games of all time, in my opinion. And to think I've got to make like 5 more of these things. Ah! plus side, I have several ideas that should help make them nowhere near as tedious. The other ones I have to make are all big ones. Fortunately, the torch method really makes texturing tombstones no problem at all. Even a big one you can do in a few minutes. To be honest, I haven't 3D printed much in quite a while. I've got some big claws that I need for my costume idea for the coming year, and I've sized those out, but I haven't printed the project yet. I mean, I thought I'd be printing up an absolute storm, but I just haven't. I'm very disappointed with that fact, quite frankly. I think that if I was more into miniatures, I would be really going at it, but I'm not really a miniatures guy anymore. And I have quite a lot of filament too. I bought a bunch, went on sale from one of the marketers that I very frequently use. I don't know why my mouse is hovering around. Okay. And I don't like it. Printers were not cheap. I need to use them. One thing I do want to print at some point is they have these kind of, it's like a special piece for 3/4 inch PVC pipe that allows you to make a joint in it at any angle you want. So rather than being limited to the stock 90 or 45 degrees that you get at the hardware stores, this allows you to bend your monster limbs and PVC to any angle that you want. So I do want to print up a bunch of those at some point, but I got to get the hardware for them, the screws that go inside as well. So that's a thing on the menu for 3D printing. Fundamentally, I just need to not be lazy and get right at it. I've got the Sidewinder X2 that has the auto leveling. I just need to do it. It's not that hard. It just needs doing. As with most things in life, it's down to just sit down, shut up, and do it. I could heat form it. I like having the flexibility to see my design in a skeletal format before I continue with the entirety of the project. Plus, I found that with heat forming the PVC, you get that bend in the pipe and it overlaps, and you lose a lot of strength to the joint. Granted, you can make that up just by packing material around it, but I don't feel like I get the same strength out of it. Once you put that fold in the PVC, you've introduced one hell of a weak point. That's just my take on it. Because I have done similar projects, especially when I did PVC bows with my students. And we always had that student who bent something too far and their bow turned into a kink. And at that point, it was just really, really crummy. They'd never have the same strength. And if they took that bow out to actually shoot with, they'd draw, they'd try to, and that the bow would just bend right over, right at that kink point, every time. So that's why I don't, be it right, wrong, or whatever. That's why I don't just heat form it. Sounds good, Jess. Take care and have a fun evening. Thanks for the cool question about Halloween traditions. That was nifty. Maybe I should have hot glued this crack. You know, no, I'm glad I didn't hot glue this crack first. It allows me to use up all this funky filler that's full of blobby blobs. It's perfect, just the way it is. I am content. Choo-choo, what's up? Yeah, we're back at it. Back at it indeed. I gotta get that Twitch chat cross-posting on the others. As with these chat programs on streaming, none of them seem to quite mesh well with all streaming media. And then if I get tonight's projects done, I may go back online on Twitch and play some more Sinking City. Fair enough, because for when I do heat forming a PVC, it's heat, and then bend it. If you bend it shallow enough, then you'll get the U-bend. And the reason I don't use a U-bend is because then it's a U. It's not a joint of a living or undead thing, because our joints are right-angly bendy bits. Yeah, I've actually got a couple, Choo-Choo, that should be working. And of course, I tell them to work, and I give them the codes, and they should be doing it. But for some reason, just aren't playing well with the software integration. I'll mess with the widget settings in a little bit. The moment the big crux is get the tombstone worked on. Have some nice, relaxing crafting. I refuse to allow, what is it, XSplit there to get my goat while I'm in the middle of a stone. Soon when this cruddy filler runs out, I will get out a pack of never before opened stuff that's been sitting around for a couple years, and hopefully that will at least not have lumpies in it. We'll see. Part of me also wonders if I could just do this with drywall joint compound. The downside is I know that the joint compound is also very hygroscopic, and over time it would run the risk of wearing away with any water infiltration. And that's always the concern with outdoor props. What if the water gets in? Big lumpy lump right there. There's a couple of things. I have a product that's it's a coating, a foam coat. Hotwire Foam Factory makes it. They've sent me a bunch to test, and I, being zipped into a depressive state at the time when I got it, just never did anything with it, and I still need to play with it. It should be like a spatula on kind of deal, and it should look like stone when it's applied, but like I said, I just haven't tried it yet. Maybe we should do a test piece. I'm sure I've got some foam around here that's just goobered up. We could test that out tonight. That'll be fun. Good, almost done. Almost done with it. Woo-ha! Fresh filler, fresh filler. Woo, woo, woo. And considering most of what's left is on the edges here, let's just do a scrape and a hydrate. Seal it, and we'll see if this will get any better over time. And if it doesn't, then whoop-de-doo. We'll have a fresh container. There's everything that's left. Let's just spritz it up. Spritz it, mix it. Seal it, let it marinate, and crack some fresh stuff in it. Let's make sure it'll actually seal. No good attempting to reconstitute it if I can't make sure stay sealed from the atmosphere. Excellent. Honestly, organization trays sound awesome, Choo-Choo. Absolutely awesome. I know that my crafting situation greatly improved with the addition of a little bit of organization. Even if that organization Didn't stick around terribly long. Just trying to sort it. Oh, oh, hell. It's a brick. It's an absolute brick. Oh, no. And I was complaining about the other stuff being lumpy. This stuff is lump. Oh, dear. Let's see if we can at least let's see if we have a layer under there that has any moisture. Oh my god. No, we're gonna need fresh wood filler. This stuff is yeah. Yeah. I think we're cutting this project short for tonight due to lack of viable materials. Because I'm not going to spend all evening hammering away at a brick of wood filler. Oh boy. Well, I guess I'm going to Lowe's sometime in the next few days. Yep. Well, here's what we will do is we'll do a minor attempt at reconstitution. This sucker's on hold though. There's no way in heaven that'll be anything but a rock. We'll fill this up and give it some time. If we're lucky, then the water will reconstitute. Well, I guess it's time for our airbrush experiment. Yeah, maybe I'll need a brick for a future project. In which case, I've got one all ready to go. Let's put these in a 911 spot so we can come back to both of them later. My poor reconstituted one and my one that I'm trying to delumpify. Some nights when the craft supplies just say, nope, you're not doing it. Alright, well, next thing is ruining an airbrush, if at all possible. I mean, not intentionally ruining, but I'm pretty sure it might ruin my airbrush. But I've got to know if it works, because there's no way I'm going to spend hundreds of dollars on a gallon of airbrush paint. Oh. Oh. All right. Okay, for this we need a bottle, cap. Oh, that cap probably ran away to nowhere, so nope, it's right here, where it should be. That's alright. Black. And isopropyl alcohol. And we're gonna, I am very sure isopropyl doesn't react with foam, but I'm gonna do a quick check. Yep, it's fine. Is it fine? Is it really, really fine? Yep, it's fine. Oh, hey, Berlina. Yeah, I saw your post on Facebook there. It said you were doing some craft-delicious-y stuff. Alright. What am I up to? Something to get this in there. I suppose I could do it inside the silicone cup. Awesome. Oh, no, we're not doing it inside there. I can feel lumps of resin on the walls. Any one of those could get into the airbrush and just clog it. I've got fresh ones. The goal here is to take some acrylic paint, some cheap acrylic paint, and thin it out so it will go into the airbrush so that we can paint this without getting bad corrosion from my no flakes. Bad corrosion like my spray paint has been doing to my other tombstone. And online there was a fellow who come here, you saw that big schleppy lump. Yeah, I saw you. I saw you, you big rubbery. Big rubbery schmunts. Yeah, there it is. Come on, get out of there. Get out of there. You great big acrylic booger. He watered his paint down with isopropyl alcohol, and it went through his airbrush exceedingly well. So we're going to try that flavor and see if it'll work for us. Save the black that we create in this bottle and try to make it a permanent airbrushy solution. I think I have made a gelatin of sorts. Maybe that's why they tell you to mix it for 30 seconds. And if that's the case, then we know this will definitively not work. I wish I'd tried a smaller batch to start off with. No kidding. Well, the downside right now with the crafting desk is that one big pumpkin in the back is a Halloween pumpkin that is just kind of being stored there. Realistically, I probably ought to take it downstairs and find a spot on some shelf for it. Alright, let's try. I've got plenty of isopropyl, and isopropyl's cheap. Alright. Looking better. I still don't want to put it in my airbrush yet. But I really do want this thing black in color. It's still very thick. That's more like airbrush paint. Oh wow, that's really like airbrush paint. Damn. Maybe this will really work out. And I won't even have to ruin my airbrush. Wow, that would make my day. Okay. Let's see how it pours. A little too thick still. Is a tiny bit of water in that bottle, but that shouldn't make a whole lot of difference. Yeah, no kidding. Especially considering it, what, one of the two to 8 ounce bottles of paint is dirt cheap, and isopropyl alcohol is dirt cheap. Alright. Let's see what we got. Alright. Pours nice and smooth. Let's see how she coats. It being isopropyl alcohol, though, you would have to watch out for evaporation. But let's see and make sure it works first. I'll ruin one of my airbrushes so y'all don't have to. Besides, I like working with airbrush. I used to be so afraid of these things. Absolutely terrified. See, we used to be terrified of these things. Alright. Wish us luck. Keep that sealed so that this trouble doesn't evaporate. And let's see. Well, that's wonderful. I don't feel bad about wasting it incredibly because it's just cheap acrylic and isopropyl alcohol. I'm not buying spray paint either, which is great. However, I think I just burned through a capful of it. Yeah. Yeah, I burned through it real fast, but it's cheap acrylic. Burning through a full cap of actual, like, you know, Createx black. This cost for cost is mucho cheaper. I feel I can get a lot more controlling around the letters as well. I have to make sure I hit every last bit in there. Yeah, this is 91% isopropyl, drugstore type stuff. / Walmart type stuff. And what is this? Apple barrel acrylic. I would guess my ratio is I used what? Maybe what's that? I used about 30 milliliters of the black and about 6, maybe it's about 50-50. A little bit more than 50-50. Maybe 50-55. I mean, you're going to burn through it like nobody's business, but cost-wise, I can mix up a big batch of this stuff for cheapy. I'm sorry you're allergic to aerosols, Juju. I like using the black spray paint. It's like Halloween duct tape. something that isn't quite grit on Halloween night, then we grab the cheapo Walmart spray and tidy it right up. But for airbrushy stuff, this is nice. Like I said, you're burning through capfuls of it fast, but who cares? I also really like the coverage. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, it's just paint like anything else. I'm surprised it works so well. Watching the guy online, he was doing, he tried several different formulations. 2 of them were specialty, and the one he found worked best was the isopropyl, and I can absolutely see why. I agree with his findings. Ta-da! The other nice thing is the stuff dries like nobody's business. Well, if this is the way it is, this is awesome. This means I probably can start dry brushing this tonight too. Whoop. That's not empty. If I could base and dry brush one of these guys all on the same day. That's some happy foosball right there. Alright, now in action. Yeah. I also like the fact that I don't have to go outside for this. I probably should have a mask on because it is microparticulates, and no doubt in the future I'll bring my mask in. But it's so stupidly easy. here. Actually, the guy who deserves credit, let's credit where credit's due on this one. Check my history. Hopefully it'll come right up. Okay. The guy's channel is Papa Frog, PAPAFR0G. And the title of his video is How to Thin Your Acrylic Paints for Airbrushing New 2021 Brackets. That is the guy to credit. This one here is Styro Goo, which is the stuff that Hotwire Foam Factory sent me that I don't have sitting around right near me. It's a clear, tolerably good adhesive and relatively cheap, provided you don't have to have them ship it. If you have to have shipping done, just use Gorilla Glue. Because I looked on their thing, it was like 32 ounces, like $22. I'm like, wow, that's not bad compared to other adhesives. And then I went, all right, so ship me a bunch. It's like, all right, $25 shipping. I'm like, no, that's $50 for 32 ounces. And then I went on, Amazon. I'm like, how much is regular old Gorilla Glue? This much. Okay, well, we'll just use that then. All right, let's find spots. As with spray, any spray, there's always angles of coverage that you didn't get. And there they are. Come on out. Yep. Swish, swish, swish. Another cap. So Styro Goo. But if Styro Goo is too expensive, then just get some Gorilla Glue, or good old Great Stuff will do it very well too. Just sandwich it on. It'll work great. Too bad for my bug. But what, am I worried about the cost? I don't think so. Yeah, great. Felt like I was getting a pressure drop there. Maybe it was. Let's do the back. Yeah, 8 foot by 4 foot, the pink sheet for this one. Okay, I am getting a pressure drop. Maybe this is when I talked about ruining an airbrush on this. Let's grab some isopropyl. You know, really lost flow. Alright, problem encountered. The problem was that I must have hit the button. Turned off the damn pump like a knucklehead. Hey, now it works again. Genius. Let's let it pressurize the cylinder. It's all good, Juju. Yep, the green is pretty much the same thing as the pink, really. Why isn't it working? Because you turned off your pump, you idiot. Oh, I love being a crafter. I can tell that by adding the extra isopropyl, there's a little bit more thinning in this cap. But it really doesn't worry me one bit. Just going over a little bit more. Alright, that cap crapped out. Good. I'm glad that this thing's pretty quiet for being a pump. I think we're going to be able to do this whole tombstone on just what I mixed up. Here's hoping. I might be a little bit off, but that little 60 fluid ounces there, half cheap acrylic, half isopropyl, may do this entire thing. That includes all the touch-ups I made to the front. The craft room does stink like isopropyl alcohol. But it's definitely not gagging powerful. It's just a, oh yeah, I can smell it. There we go. Keep touching. Oh yeah, if you touch the wet parts, it's going to come right off. Let's only touch the dry parts. It really is much. Not much that didn't get coated. I see it, you. What the hell? See the bottom. Oh no. If only I had more left. Nyah, 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 nyah. Still got a whole cap full and probably a little bit more in there. Jeebus. Alright, I'll let this dry for a second and then really we'll touch up because there's bound to be spots there. Yeah, like where I touched before. The motto is keep your grubby paws off your project while it's drying. Even if you think it's dry, it's not. Well, on a good day, Choo-Choo, it would be need. Nobody's going to notice any slight pinkenings in there. The always problem with pink foam is the fact that if you scrape any part of it, it only flakes off. Well, I'm very happy with that. I'm very surprised too. If I painted this with a brush, it would have taken hours and been a real pain in the keister. And the bottom's pretty much dry. And all I'm seeing right now for painting flaws is tiny little artist nitpicks. That's scraping though. And now it's fine. The only potential complaint I have is the coat is very thick. But realistically, maybe you wanted 2 coats. Whoop-de-frickin' do. Mix it right up. Do it again. I'm just artist nitpicking this and kind of using up the rest of this cat foam. I'll never get all the scrapes. They're just going to be down here a little bit, no matter what. So a spray paint is probably more protective and will put a thicker coat on. This stuff's going to scuff very, very rapidly. But, you know, how much is left? I have about maybe half a cap full. Just going to use it up, double coating the front in some spots. There we go. Yeah, there's a primer. I'll do that all day, every day. It's dirt cheap. Like I said, I used about 30 milliliters of this, 30 milliliters of that, old tombstone, and I still have a tiny little shake left. I'm not buying that stuff anymore. I can make my own black, thank you very much. Alright, let's depressurize. Now I just need to get this thing to sit right. Yeah, that tank holds on to holds on to pressure pretty well. This unit really impresses me. Really impressed me. Why am I doing that? And I have to run stuff through it. I'm not so good on the brainulating today. You realize you're going to have to run cleaning fluid through that. Right. Whoop. Good. Well, that was enlightening and illuminating. My two favorite things to get from craft experiences. There. Run the cleaner through. Q-tips. Q-tips, Q-tips, Q-tips. Somewhere there are Q-tips. Oh. They are in here. At least a few of them are. Ah, dang it. A little pyramid box, huh? Sounds cool. Oh, no. Come on. Really? Yay! I turned a simple cleanup into a long, protracted repair. Good job. Oh, good. Wolves down. Of course I dropped it. Why wouldn't I drop it? I intended to drop it. Well, there's no better way to learn your way around your expensive airbrush than to repair it after you were an idiot. Come on. Oh, Jesus. Just had to fall on the ground, didn't you? Alright. Let's try putting it somewhere where it is less likely to fall on the ground and continue with basic cleaning. The airbrush has betrayed us. It has chosen the floor. And for this, it must be chastised. You shall learn. You have chosen the way of floor. For this, you must be punished. That's extremely not good. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh, Jesus. That's okay. Yes, definitely bad airbrush. My needle point is not going back in. I tried to push it a little too much, and now I'm feeling a tiny little burr on the needle, which is excessively not happy. Oh. And I really did not plan on doing airbrush maintenance tonight. Very sure I didn't do something right, because that's not... Don't drop your airbrushes. Don't ever drop your airbrushes. Why is that not? is not providing any resistance. Ooh, well, what's likely going to happen is I'm going to have to watch some video on how to reassemble your expensive Iwata airbrush. Pretty sure it didn't go in that way. Yep, we're gonna have to watch some video on it. Alright, well, I will do that later when I feel like being being fat saves the day. Except the spring isn't there. So the spring's on the floor. Alright, well, I'm going to use the restroom either way. The cat says hi. Be right back, everybody. Tiny little spring that's incredibly hard to see. Don't ever drop your airbrush. Here it is. Oof. All right. Come here, chair. Don't you be a pain too. All right. least that part's in good shape. The problem which occurred, and that will probably not focus very well. No. Well, the problem which occurred is that this thing has a kind of a tri-leaf, 3 flaps that hold on to the needle, and when it went on the ground, one of them whanged in. So rather than 3 equal pressure flaps, now I have one that is kind of crushed in too much, which by itself is not too much of a problem because it still embraces the needle. But now it's off center. And that shouldn't be too hard to fix. But it is. Okay, the spread. There we go. Here's the spread. The needle's going to be fine. So there is a burr on the end of it. That should be, I shouldn't feel any deviation in the point, and I do. And this guy is just not going in there right. Do is we'll set this be able to set the needle in here so it's protected. Good. Then there's the little screw that goes on the back end. Thought you'd run off, did you? I'm still threading. Put them on as well. Okay. And I'll put it together again later. It's reasonably clean. Alright, buddy. Ooh, come on. Stay standing. If it needs a few replacement parts, that's no biggie, but I don't think it'll be that hard to fix. Oh. But hey, we learned that it gives us a hell of an easy airbrush black, with just some alcohol and some cheap acrylic. Next. Alright, a really stubby brush. Dry brush time. None of you brushes are scummy enough. Ah, there we go. There's a scummy brush. Good stuff, Galef. Thank you for hanging out. Take care, have a good one, and we will catch you on the flip side. I'm going to do some dry brushing. First, I'm going to give this thing another shake because it hasn't been open since the last time I dry brushed a tombstone. We'll have the new short version video out at some point. So I'm going to keep doing that with this GoPro, which should be taking over for my regular camera. Because 4K apparently is the wave of the future. It's a lighter gray than I remembered it. It won't matter because it's going over black. Alright, so let's get you out of that. And let's warm up on the back. Hmm. All right. Okay. That's not too bad. I wish I'd done a darker gray mid-tone and then brought it up one from there. Oh, perfect. This is a tough pick. Sounds good, Berlina. Thank you for hanging out with us this evening. I appreciate it. I'm just making sure that this conglomerated rust doesn't stop my paint from resealing. And making sure that it actually stays paint and not a brick. Well, I'm probably going to give this thing a wet blast at some point too. Usually I take some white or a very, very light gray, put it with some water, and then grab a spritzer and hit this with it. Come to think of it. Well, let's see if that'll... No, that stuff already dried. But it'll run down and give it a much nicer whitish overlay texture that I really enjoy on tombstones. Let's wipe this rust scuzz out. Yeah. Oh yeah. This paint hasn't been used in a while, and it's telling me so. But that will do for now until I get it coated. or I should say splashed with some white residue. Should probably do a quick close-up. I think the back of the stone's a bit darker, but nobody will see it. But there's our primary. Oh, and that's not bad at all. This paint water's gonna go down this thing tonight. Alright, you are done as a mixing plate. So keep you right here to remind me that's going to be washed out. And then we can do the final thing for this evening. It is pretty heinous where I am, I gotta say. Well, I'm afraid this might be a brick. Yeah, it's pretty darn hot here. I mean, it's not like oppressive hot, and also it's 4 in the morning, so no biggie, but it certainly is not beautiful fall temperatures. Woo! Yep. My beautiful set and stain is, I think it's Jello. The fact that this thing's not going through it does not bode well. Alright, what do I not mind getting stuff on? Okay, there is a liquid layer. Let's peel away the top and see if we can get to it. Which in a way is kind of good. Because the next project does not have a huge need for excellence of paint. fact, use a nice disposable brush because I have lots of them. Well, it's alright if it falls over. It's dry as a bone. Maybe that liquid channel enlarged a bit. Good. Perhaps on this side first. Thank you. I'm glad you keep getting use out of them. That was definitely one of their main intents, was to be a perpetually available resource for anybody who wanted them. And yes, the old can opener. I can't remember where I have that from. It strikes me as probably one of those items that my folks long ago said, "Here, you're getting an apartment, take this. It's dangerous to go alone." And eventually it got kind of rusty, crusty, yucky, and it was like, all right, you're not a can opener anymore, you're a craft room tool. It's a surprisingly good craft room tool still. Careful with this clear coat now. I really don't want any varnish strips to form. I'm already getting varnish strips. Yeah, no kidding. Well, we've already hit that spot where, you know, you put some kids in the room with an old rotary phone, they have no idea how to use it. And things will only continue to get more and more like that as time progresses. And I know that my step-grandmother has absolutely no desire whatsoever to learn email and internet. She's perfectly content. I may very well have to do 2 coats on this. Yeah. Yeah, lots of folks these days. I'll wager even some of the people who grew up with that technology don't recall how to use it. It's the way things go, though. And there's technologies from the 18th century that, I shouldn't say 18th century. There's technologies from many previous eras that we either don't know how to use or have forgotten. My very good friend and colleague, Mr. Roger Ree, who works in special education, does a bit with his technology class. He is an inveterate hoarder of antiques, and he brings in a number of not even 1800s inventions, some of them are, but he brings them in, and one of the first aspects of the technology class is that all technology is designed to solve a problem. See if you can figure out what problem these devices were intended to solve. And there's stuff in there that just, you know, unless you are quite a student of history, simply wouldn't know. There's one of them is it looks like if you took sort of an iron, flattened it out, and made it look kind of very vaguely sword-like. And what it is something to iron your tie. You'd lay out your tie and slide this thing into the gap inside the fabric, and it would iron and press your tie. And needless to say, most of the students have no idea of that, but we don't expect them to. It's just a matter of, you know, that aspect of technology solves an issue. And a lot of them find it fascinating that these devices exist. And existed. And it's a fun little lesson. Very hands-on. Which really is the key to doing most lessons right. Oof. Yes, yes it does. Choo-choo, I 3D printed this one. But then I did the resin sealing and the painting. So did I craft it? I'd love to take credit for it, but no. I take credit only for sealing, resining, and painting. That's it. Hopefully I'm putting a thin enough coat on here that there won't be any drips accumulating. It is a modified amalgamation choo-choo. This one is, this is deer plus teeth. It is not a real animal. If you go onto the website Thingiverse, Thingiverse, and you search for Wendigo costume, you will find the 3D file for this thing in a gray scale. And what the gentleman did was he took an existing scan of a deer skull and he put a little bit of toothiness onto it. So like these front canines, and he made it much more of a feral monster than a forest-dwelling ungulate. And he also has some claws and other things that go with it. Of which I downloaded the files and will be using some of. Let's at least know want to. So I think modified deer is closest to the animal in question. I don't know if I want to seal the inside at all. Oh, hey. Found some varnish accumulations. Good. I know one of the nice things about this is that it will sit up. Which is wonderful. I may well leave it like that. That way at least I know if there's any varnish accumulations, they'll come down. And if I have to blend them into paint or anything, it'll be easy to do. This is spar varnish. Spar urethane, my bad. This is clear satin spar urethane. Mostly. it's pretty dry, but that's, yeah. Generally what I'm getting out here. And I'm doing this to seal in the painting coat that I put on there. Give it a measure of UV resistance. Not that it really needs it. And because it is 3D printed, there are layer lines, even if they're not terribly visible, due to the resin that I put on here. I'm debating whether to throw some on the inside. I've got some resin in there, but a lot of the glues will stick better to the urethane. What the hell? I have it out right now. Why not give it a quick hit on the inside? Oh, is it based on a seal? Really? I'm surprised. I did not believe that a seal skull was configured this way. Oh, the seal I'm putting on. No, it's not a seal skull. Okay, good. No, this is spar urethane. do one last sweep for accumulations. I'm sure there's some spots I didn't hit very well. But that's okay. I think it's alright. In the back I'm not painting very much because this thing will have a hood over it. So good. You actually spelled it perfectly fine, Choo-Choo. It was me who misunderstood what you were asking about. Alright, now we just have to hope that the cats won't knock this over. And usually they won't hop up on in here, unless I'm here. I know this smell will repel them. Okay, good. Nice quick coat. We'll take some water that'll have some heft. Put it in there, make sure it's weighted. Good. No, this doesn't need the dental pick. Good. That is all set. Toss that brush out. And we'll let this dry. So we got one tombstone, well and done. Well, well and mostly done. Needs fine detailing. I'm gonna get these things the hell out of here. Just pointy bits for me to ram foam things into that will damage them. We gotta go dump this water. Eventually we'll get back into experimenting with resin because I've got some beautiful or I have a really nice vacuum chamber now to degas it, so we won't get any air bubbles. Let's get these out of the way. And we'll probably give a few of these away on Halloween. Get them the hell out of my workshop. Other folks can enjoy them. Well, at some point, we'll experiment more with the 3-layer pumpkins. I gotta take that boy downstairs. He's just not doing anything up here. So taking up space. Well, he's wonderful and I like him taking up my space. I think it'd be better if he didn't get splattered whatever all over him, as is wont to happen in the craft room. I can't remember why I brought him up. It's just storage, or I wanted to have him as a backdrop for videos. I can't remember at all. Cool. All right. Let's pull him out if we can. Of course. This background needs to be retaped. Oh, come here. And he was on top of my Lazy Susan. Have a good one, Donna. Thank you for hanging out with us. Oh. Yeah, no kidding. I'll take him downstairs. Oh, that's what I wanted to do with him. I think he's pretty well done. He's a good boy. But with him out of there, I'll be able to move other things back into that area. Alright, but I think we're about done with crafting for the evening. Pardon. So, I'm going to disable this stream, go dump out my water, clean up, etc. And if you haven't had enough of me, then I'm going to go to Twitch afterwards, and I will be playing a little bit of the horrendously terrifying Lovecraftian game, The Sinking City, where I'll be trying to find out dread mysteries of things best not known and wondering why people are sending me to spaces, or why my detective character is going to spaces without people actually asking him or paying him to do so. So that'll be happening on Twitch once I clean up here and dump some paint water and other stuff. But otherwise, if you are not hanging out with me over there, thank you very much for hanging with me on the crafting. It's been wonderful having you guys around. It always is. Folks to chat with whilst stuff is going on is always great. That is not going to go there. I was hoping to end with it on camera. But otherwise, we will see you all next time, which I hope will be very soon, because again, it's summer, so crafting is what's happening. Let's find the clicky bit. Good. All right. Have a great night, folks. Take care, and we'll catch you next time.